Hi, this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. I am doing several instructional videos on the Album Wizard Academy because I uploaded some videos, too many of them at the same time, and they all ended up corrupt. And I've already done the builds, so I'm going to have to do some walkthroughs with you. This experience has been a huge learning curve. I got to upload one video at a time. I get antsy because it can take, with my internet speed, it can take a day or more to upload one video. And so I get antsy when I've got 4 or 5 of them sitting in the queue. So I did something that I'll learn I won't do again. So this is the signature for page 6. And once I get done with this video, I should have a clean slate uploading to YouTube, and I won't have to do this for the final panel on my right hand side. So what we have for page 6 is a left side flap and a right side flap with another left side small panel and a right side small panel. And then in your cutouts, there was this really large, beautiful window piece. I think that's what that is. So I made a tuck out of it. I cut it out, put it on cardstock, and then I taped along the bottom here and just a little bit up the side so that when you put something in there, it's not going to create this thing, forcing it to really fold forward too much. So let me give you our starting measurements. So have a pen and paper ready. Now I'll go as slow as I can. I'll get this up here so you can see it. All right, so your base, which is this piece right here, is going to measure 8 1/4 across by 8 3/4 tall. The left side panel builds, which is this, you're going to have a piece of cardstock that's going to measure 6 7/8 by 8 3/4. That's this one here. And then you're going to have the back side of this, which is going to be 6 inches by 9 3/4 inches. Because on the length of this, you're going to score at a half along here so that you can attach these two together to make your pocket. And I do want to verify that measurement. So so 6 inches. Oh, I know why it's confusing me, because you've got some score lines. I forgot. So 6 7/8 by 8 3/4, you are going to score that piece at a half and at 3/4 so that you have a 1/4 inch gusset here. And then you're going to tape it to the back of the panel. And then this piece, which is going to make the pocket, is going to be 6 inches by 9 3/4, scoring it at a half along the top and the bottom. You're going to fold those, either tape or glue. I would recommend tape because glue has a tendency to spread. Tape them in place and then mount it onto this cardstock so that you have your pocket. The pull-out measures 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that back in there. And then you've got another right side panel. This is my attempt to use up some of those larger cardstock pieces that you might have hanging around. Now, and you can't see it that well on the video, but I had this big piece. It wasn't big enough to fit this, and I didn't have any other strips in my stash over here, but I did find this piece. So I trimmed it down a little bit, and I kind of did a merge in here. and then made this page. Trying to hide a bit of the tape seam, I made a pocket, and this little pocket measures 2 1/4 by the width, which is 4 1/2. And then I took one of these cards, mounted it on cardstock, and made a tuck so that you can go in here and tuck behind it. And then you've got this pocket just behind it. And then we have this side panel, which is the reverse. And then we're going to go over here to the right side panel. This piece here measures 6 1/2 by 8 3/4. You're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. So you've got a 1/4 inch gusset here. And then this panel is going to measure 5 1/2 by 8 3/4. You're going to score that at 1/2 so that it comes in. It's going to come under this, your base piece here. And then I made a pocket, which 2 3/8 by 5 3/4. I'm simply cutting these to match some of the pieces that I have. That's why it's 2 3/8. But you will always cut to fit to trim for the length. And then I took another one of the cut aparts, mounted it, and made a little tuck behind. When you put this together, before any paper goes down, you need to get your magnets installed. So we need a magnet here on this panel and on the back of this panel. Where'd it go? It's right there. So before any paper goes down, you're going to place the magnet here on the right side, making sure that your gussets are straight and they're standing up, and that you're even top to bottom. You're just going to gently drop it so that the magnet can fall into place, and then slide it by twisting so you can slide it off so you're not pulling it up. Then you can actually add your paper. Now, the paper that I'm using, this piece and this piece, these pieces are all trimmings that were left over from cutting larger pieces like this one here. But this piece and this piece came off the same 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Now, I give you the cardstock measurements, but you're going to cut to fit the paper. I eyeball, so I think I would drive myself crazy if I had to give 8/16 or 1/16 in a measurement because of how I do things. So it's cut to fit. And then then your pull out, this guy here is 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. And then I'm using the little trinkets for the pull, and then securing it in, and I've ran that on both sides. Now the front of this was a single piece all by itself. There were some cut apart cards over here, and then there was a card banner across the bottom. I wanted to work with this piece. So what I did very carefully is I came in here and cut this out, fussy cut this out with my craft knife, this whole piece. Don't separate the cat away from the arch, because what's going to happen is you're going to have an unfinished piece here if you want to save the cat, or you're going to have a black toe on this piece because of the cat. So just cut this out the same, leaving them intact right here on this piece here. Then what I did, and by the way, I've inked all my edges with hickory smoke from the Tim Holtz line. What you're going to do, and what I did, was I mounted this arch on some chipboard. It was real thin. I needed to be able to cut through it, but it didn't give me enough depth. So I added some of those foam pop-ups underneath, You can kind of see them there. So that I got some depth on this. I wanted this to look like the arch was standing more outside of the room and that the staircase had a deeper presence on the front of this. So these are your measurements for all of the cardstock, and then you're going to cut the paper to fit. And then this will be your signature 6 in the album. And again, my apologies. I'm on a huge learning curve doing these videos. I thought I had it handled and uploaded too many at the same time, and they all crashed. So I am now going to create this last final piece, and because it's the only piece that's going to get uploaded to YouTube, it should be the full walkthrough video. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to give you a hand. Thank you.